because bright colorful birds can turn muddy into water when we paint them in watercolor really quickly. Today, while we paint this rainbow lorikeet, I'm going to show you how I handle that by concentrating in areas of colors. First, we can end up with colors that are vibrant, realistic, and they look true to life. This was a request by someone here in the channel. These birds live in Australia. Unfortunately, I have never been there, but thank God for the internet and free reference photos. So let's concentrate into the areas of colors, and then by putting the strategic details, let's end up with this beautiful bird. So what we're waiting for, let's get started. All right, so we're gonna start with the head, and right away, I'm gonna start doing like a color block. I'm gonna put a little bit of my Hansa yellow light for the beak. It will be orange to red, but this is kind of like an underpainting. And I'm also gonna drop it on this tiny little part on the neck, which it will be a bright green. Doing this is helping me know where the block of the colors are. For the rest of the head, I'm gonna be using my cobalt blue violet. I am gonna drop it, but I'm gonna leave the area around onto the iris, not into the eyeball, if you will. If you would like to have the reference picture and the template for drawing, they are in my Patreon. I'm gonna leave the link below, just in case you want either or. You get all the drawings and all the paintings for the month, so it comes out to be about 8. Dropping the color. The still is kind of treating this like an underpainting, okay? The color that I'm going to be using is the Antwerp blue, and we're going to do that for the belly. I'm going to wet this area that is blue. That way, while that dries, this over here as well. Now, if we get the color zones in at the very beginning and it goes well, then the bird is going to start reading much faster than you may expect. So here is my Antwerp blue. So this is all I'm going to do for right now. Drop it, let it dry. Some of the eye is going to be black, but it has an area where it's orange. So I'm coming with my translucent orange by Sminky to leave a highlight up there. For the greens, I'm going to be using Phthalo Yellow Green by Daniel Smith. Go ahead and start putting, you don't see much here in the neck, but we're going to have it in the wings. Like I said, these birds look like they're gorgeous. Now, full disclosure, I have never seen them in person. I wish I did. This is a request that I got by one of my followers from Australia. Believe it or not, she told me this is on their backyard. I'm the lucky or what? So yes, after I saw the pictures, I thought, yeah, this is going to be a wonderful painting. However, I'm going a little bit blind here because I have never seen them in person. It's not the same as if you have seen them. So I'm going to be going here by color block. I'm going a little bit blind, and hopefully I can do justice to this beautiful animal. Over here, it will be more on the red, but it will have a little bit of the orange too. So I'm building my values slowly, sure, little by little. Okay, if you've been painting with me for a while, you know that I like to go ahead and start putting my darker colors soon. And if you don't, let me explain you why. Because color is relative. So before I put the shadows and whatnot around here, I will go with my darker color. That way I only have to do it once, because sometimes you put them, it looks good, and then once you put this dark color, then everything looks too light, and then you have to go ahead and redo it all over again. So I avoid that by coming with the darker colors right away. This is Neutral Tint by Daniel Smith. The center, but I leave, like I mentioned before, I'm going to leave an unpainted area, which is going to be the highlight of the eye. A little bit here too, on the separates the beak and it starts on the head. So this is what I see. So that's where I put it in that. Pearl red, and then we're going to go ahead and start finish. I want the tip here to show a little bit of the original orange. We will come back here to darken it up. So I wet that area, And I'm just gonna go with water and lead this up into the yellow tip of the beak with a few shadows. Then I just go with a little bit of water. The important thing here is not that I paint all the feathers, it's just that I give direction to this head. This is the same cobalt violet that I started for the underpainting, but I added some Antwerp blue to warm it up. This is a clear example of what I was talking before about color being relative. This looked like it was pretty dark, at least it was to me, right? And then now that I'm coming with darker colors, all of a sudden this is looks like it's as if it is a lot lighter. And in order to have a little bit of a transition between the beak and these gorgeous blues, what I see is it's smaller and a little bit darker. So I'm trying to put some of that. So the texture and the details and the right places is all that is needed. So I'm coming here with neutral tint shadow that starts here, but it goes a little into the beak too. So now I go with water, and voila, just a little bit here is allowing me to have the transition, but also to shape this beak a little bit. Now it's time to move on to the next section. I will go back there and lift a little bit of color, but I have too much white here and it's throwing my eyes out, so it's time to black the next section. Soft brush, and then I'm wetting a little bit into the sun of the blue, very lightly. I am not rubbing, and that way when I drop the colors over here, I get a hard edge. And because I'm doing it over there, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing here. Hence a yellow light for the metal, and I'm gonna use also New Gumbosh, that one more on the outside of the chest. So these colors are my colors are blending on the paper because I got everything wet. That's the idea. This is one of those paintings where color placement matters more than tiny details. This is my orange, my translucent orange. I'm dropping it while I still got wetness. So there's a lot of blue over here, and blue and yellow makes green. I don't want green. But if I come with red, but if I put my red next to the blue, remember I wetted a little bit over there, then I will get more of the purple, and that is okay. That's exactly what I want. It is the same red that I use for the beak, the pearl red. Wet still, from more to less, and some of these transitions. So if I come with the yellow. All right, so I kind of lost my wetness. So right now the best thing for me to do is to wait for this to dry and then come back with a second layer with yellow and blend them again. I'm gonna put another painting of my green, of the green color. Some blacks over here, but again, black is dark color, so the dark color can go in top of the light color. It will cover it up and not be, that's fine. Now that this is dry, we can come back with soft brush, and I'm gonna re-wet this. This is a good technique to use, especially when you are using colors that are very intense. It's better to re-wet and then come back and blend than not try to go when it was starting to have hard edges. All right, I'm also wetting a little bit into the body of the blue, applying some of these ones right here. I'm trying to get the shape of the neck. I have that, I go and I soften the edges. Soften. Now, this is the mix of the two yellows, the Hansa Yellow Light and the New Gumbosh, or Indian Yellow. If you're using both of them, are actually the same, just different names, almost the same. And now with my red colors, but more diluted, I bring some of them here and there. And we can go with the opposite, meaning with yellow, and bring some of that yellow. We brought a little bit of the pink over there, pink and reds. Now we bring some of the yellows inside here too. Yellow, like I said, with red will give me nice orange, and then that yellow with the green will be good in the same family. So I'm using it almost like a buffer between those two colors, and it works pretty. I'm happy with the direction of this painting. Little by little, we're moving away from the ugly stage of the every painting goes through. So I'm rewetting like I've been doing every area. Of course, that has to be very dry. And again, as I've been doing and the rest of the blocks, I'm gonna wet a little bit on top of these so I don't have the hard edge. We still had to come back and put some of the details, meaning we're gonna lift, and that is gonna bring this to life a lot, you will see. This is my Antwerp blue with phthalo blue. And now we are darkening the belly, moving to this other block of color. Gorgeous. This part over here is a little bit darker, so I added a little bit more of the phthalo. Right now it's just tapping some of this. It's a good time to bring my greens here too, because we will have them mix. There's a big area here where both of these colors mix, the greens with the blues. This is all blues, and I'm gonna have mingle these two while they are wet in this area here. And now I pick the green and I touch next to this color and next to this other color. This blue, a little bit of time to dry out, and then it's not completely dry, but now I come with this orange because I don't want that to bleed into the other. Now, no whites, red and orange. Let's just put one over there, and let's just do like a transition here. Perhaps a little bit more on the red side. There it goes, that makes more sense. Use my yellow color as a buffer between the greens, the orange, and the blues. A little bit of green up there, a little bit of yellow here too. And right now our bird is already taking shape. This is really the system that I'm using. It is the big color zone first, and then we will get selective details to get more structure. So let's just finish a little bit of these wings. I'm coming with the green color. That I can go with the tip of my brush and just tap a little bit of the yellow. Before we get into the tail, this is my Hansa yellow light. Then I come with the green, let them blend over here. Some of the same blue that I was using for the belly, the phthalo blue, with the Antwerp blue, and then we're going to put a little bit of this curving feathers, I guess. Just a slight hint of that orangey color that we were having. Tap. And I'm coming here with yellow ochre. I think it's a good plan to just put the color where it needs to be, and then just save the details for the very end and put it all together. So the tail is folded into this way, and this part here is lighter, and then we have a darker part. Now this color I just made it with the same that I was using there, and I brought a hint of neutral tint. Let's just move to do the branch for two reasons. For one, we're gonna take out some of this white, but for another one, also needs to give our eyes a place to rest after all this big saturation of color. So I wet, then I made myself a mix of browns. This part of the branch I here is darker, so I come a little bit higher, a little bit lower, bring my water, pick some of that color, and bleed it. Actually, this claws of this bird, they blend. They're here, I draw them, but they actually blend completely with the tree trunks. I don't know if they are just this type of trees that they rest on or what. I want a tiny little bit more brown sienna here. I like how it blends with the water, but I feel like it needs to be slightly more warm to the mix that I did with the brown sienna neutral tint. Put it on top of it, and then go with my brush that only has a hint of water, and then I bring it to the other end. I work kind of like in little sections so that it will not dry completely. This has dried a little, it's okay. Just come and bring a little extra water, and then voila, that's what it needs to. A little bit of this color darker here on the edge. But you see, by wetting and having the water do the thing, it's giving us a lot of roundness, and that's what we're aiming for. That's what we want. Build a little bit of the shape. I can bring a couple here and there. You can also put a tiny little one in this other edge, so everything is not dark, only at this bottom. So now it's time to bring some of the details. This is my neutral tint, and we're gonna go ahead and start on the wings. This is wet, so I had to wait a little bit. So it's one little thin line here. Develop this one a little bit too. This is again the neutral tint, and this is, I don't know, I guess it's part of the tail, kind of body, where the body and tail mix. We're gonna start building these gorgeous, gorgeous tails. They go like that, turn around, and then just go with a little bit of the water and bleed it. This one here is a little bit darker. So I'm gonna move from one end to the other to give a little bit more time for that to dry. Okay, put a little bit in some areas, very little, and then bleed it into the inside. So this is gonna take a little bit of time to do it. So, and it's repetitive, but if you wanna see it, I'm just gonna fast forward. So that's a good that's a good compromise, I feel. So we are in a very good point. So far the approach here has really been simplify the bird into larger color families to keep the bright colors separated one from the other. And now this is the stage where I'm gonna come and start doing most of my detail. I can do one or two things. I can go with a thin brush. I'm gonna try with this first, and I'm gonna lift some of the color around the face so that I can have more contrast. And if it doesn't work completely with that, then I also have my other brush that helps me lift more. However, I will try with this first because it has a better point. I'm gonna use a little bit of the lift technique. So I go with water. I go a couple times. Let's see if it works. Like I said, if it doesn't work, we'll do it with the other brush. Wait for a little bit. Come with a tissue that is clean. And I did lift a little. Perhaps it's a little bit too subtle. I don't know. Let's see what happens if I go with this other one. Yeah, you can tell more. Okay, well then we do a little bit of this. I'm not gonna do the whole face. I'm just gonna put a few here and there, almost as if they are highlights. But like I said, they are in the bird. Okay, I'm not making this up. This is what I see. Looking for a few areas that need a little more definition, like here. This is, I'm using my my green with a little bit of the blue, of the phthalo blue. Wing area, nothing major, a couple of darks here or there will suffice. I do not want to separate everything. I just want to make everything sharp. I just want to put a couple things to guide the eye and guide the viewer. Put a few shadows here. Water. Just coming with indigo mixed with the purple, and I'm just gonna put a couple things like that, and then I'm gonna tap it. And although this bird looked like if it was extremely complicated at first, the process becomes much simpler once you start thinking more on color zones for something like this, for this type of birds. The biggest challenge really is keeping the bright colors clean, and we accomplish that. And a lot of that is accomplished by the timing, when to put one or the other, and also by putting a good underpainting and then build our colors little by little. I like to warm this up a little bit, so I'm coming with a new gum bush, and then I blend. So I hope that I did this bird right. Again, there's a little bit of a challenge, kind of like going blind a little bit, if you will, since I have never seen one in real life. But for those of you who know, let me know if this is how they look like. I have enjoyed painting it, and I think that it looks awesome. All right, so I feel like I could go a little bit here to separate some of these. Not everywhere, but just here or there. And then I think I'm gonna stop. Just go with water, because it's of wise people to know when to stop and leave good enough alone. I hope that you learned in this video how by keeping the color blocks clean and having those transitions, putting a little bit up and down smooth, we can end up with very vibrant colors, even though they belong to different families. Tracing and reference pictures are in Patreon. I'm going to link it down. And if you like what you see, give a like to the channel. As always, I thank you for being here, and I will see you in my next video.